Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We are live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that's the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is it helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, one of those ghost watchers always watching my videos and live streams, but never subscribing, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you'll be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, make sure you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. That is extremely important that you do that. Please do so. That way you will never miss a notification and you don't have to worry about the YouTube foolishness of, oh, I subscribed to your channel and YouTube unsubscribed me, or I subscribe to your channel, YouTube's not giving me your notifications. You don't have to worry about when you're following me on Telegram. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and will be pinned in the comment section once this stream is over. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get the show rolling. Let's get it started. Thank you all for joining me this evening. So we all know about the big blow up that happened in the White House today, right? Everybody was talking about it. Everybody covered it, including myself. Zelensky, the president of the Ukraine, was extremely disrespectful, unbelievably disrespectful. The way he was running his mouth and just being so arrogant within the presence of Donald Trump in the White House. You know what I mean? So, what happened afterward is that Zelensky went on Fox News. And while on Fox News delivering an interview, he was asked multiple times over whether or not he would apologize to Trump. And we're going to get into whether or not he did or didn't. But clearly, as you all know by the title of this video, he didn't do that. But before we get into the actual video clip, I do want to cover a few things, right? I do want to cover a few things. I want to cover a few things and a few topics of discussion that people started to bring up post the Zelensky, Trump, and Vance argument, right? Here's the first thing. Number one is this. Check this out. Now, many of you may remember this. Some of you might not. But when the Democrats were on their, impeachment campaign to impeach Trump, that impeachment surrounded allegations between the relationship of Trump, was surrounded around allegations that Trump was somehow trying to use Zelensky to help him win the election here in the US, right? The 2020 or the 2016 election. Let's look at this right here. Donald Trump was impeached over allegations he improperly sought help from Ukraine to boost his chances of re-election. In the end, he was cleared on 2 charges by a majority of senators at his trial. Now, here's the thing, right, concerning this. Zelensky never, not one time, came out to clear the air. He never came out to clear the air. He never came out and said these allegations that somehow I'm trying to help Trump win re-election, it just simply isn't true. He never came out to defend Trump, not one time. I find that very interesting. And a lot of people were talking about that. And it's worth bringing up right now that he never cleared the air to say, hey, man, this stuff just simply isn't true, right? It isn't true. But secondly is this right here. Remember when J.D. Vance stated you were campaigning for the opposition, meaning Kamala Harris, during the election that just passed? This is what he was talking about right here. This is what J.D. Vance was talking about in the Oval Office. Zelensky campaigned for Kamala Harris and Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania back in October. Zelensky was signing bombs at a manufacturing plant. This is all he wants: more money and weapons. Now, there is a video that goes along with this. I'm not going to waste time playing it right now. It's just Zelensky talking to the people that run the plant and make the bombs. And, I saw another subsequent video after the fact of somebody else speaking where they said, oh, well, how did the conversations go? Oh, the conversation went well. And he says he wants us to do more. So as always with Zelensky, do more, do more, do more. Give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. I need more money. I need more weapons. I need the U.S. to fund, our endeavors here against Russia, right? I need that. So that's what happened here. And I can completely understand why JD Vance feels that way, right? And I'm sure Trump as well, that Zelensky was campaigning for Kamala Harris. Because at the end of the day, this happened in October. So what are we, like 3 weeks out from the election? Something like that? 3 weeks away? And now all of a sudden you want to show up to Pennsylvania, a state that Kamala Harris absolutely has to win in order to become president of the United States. And you want to show up at this manufacturing plant with Josh Shapiro, signing autographs, essentially taking pictures, because that's what he's doing right here. He's autographing, all of the or a handful of bombs, at the manufacturing plant. Really? That's what we're doing? I'd feel a way too. I'd feel like, you know what? You're campaigning on behalf of Harris too, with only a few weeks away, a couple of days away from the election. When you think about the relationship that Trump and Zelensky had, with only, or I should say, that Biden and Zelensky had, with only 3 weeks away from the election, you didn't have to fly all the way out here to do this. You didn't have to do that. You literally could have just sent Biden a text and he would have sent you $1 billion more just like that. So yeah, I understand that position, and I can see that point of view, that you're campaigning for them, my man. That's what you're doing, or at least that's how it appears. That's how it comes off. You're campaigning for Harris because you didn't need to fly all the way out here for that. So now what I want to do is this. Let's get into this right here. I want to get into the Fox News interview in which Zelensky was asked whether or not he would apologize to Trump. And here's what he had to say. There's a few things that I want to touch on in this interview. We're obviously not going to go through the whole thing. It's about 20 plus minutes long, but let's start right here.
Special report, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Mr. President, thank you for the time today, especially on this day, to continue to do this interview. President Trump said after your meeting that you disrespected him and the vice president and all of America in the Oval Office. Do you think you did, and do you think you owe an apology to President Trump?
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the invitation for this dialogue, and good evening to all your country, to all Americans. I'm very thankful to Americans for all your support. You did a lot. I'm thankful to President Trump and to Congress bipartisan support. And I was always very thankful from all our people. You helped us a lot from the very beginning during 3 years of full-scale invasion. You helped us to survive. Anyway, we are strategic partners. And even in such tough dialogue, and I think we have to be very honest. And we have to be very direct to understand each other, because it's very, for us, very necessary to President Trump. And I'm with all respect that he wants to finish this war, but nobody wants to finish more than we, because we in Ukraine, we are in this war, we are in this battle, a battle for freedom, for our lives.
I'm sorry, this the pettiness in me. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants this to be over more than we. I'm sorry. Rewind it back just a little bit. Nobody wants this to be over more than we. Okay, sorry about that. Sorry.
President Trump, and I'm with all respect that he wants to finish this war, but nobody wants to finish more than we, because we in Ukraine, we are in this war, we are in this battle, a battle for freedom, for our lives. So I'm just telling that I think that we have to be on the same side, and I hope that the president on our side together with us, and that is very important to stop Putin. And I heard from President Trump a lot of times that he will stop the war, and I hope he will, and we need to pressure him with Europe, with all the partners. And I think this dialogue had to be a little bit earlier to understand where we are. Like, you know, I don't remember exactly, but like President Reagan said, that peace is not just an absent the war. Yes, we're speaking about just and lasting peace, about freedom, about justice, about human rights. And that's why I said that I think so, that ceasefire, and you know Putin, he broken 25 times ceasefire during all these years, 10 years.
So I'm not hearing from you, Mr. President, a thought that you owe the president an apology.
No, I respect President and I respect America.
Once again, check this. This went over a lot of people's heads. You know, it's not that he just didn't apologize, right? He just said no, right? He just no. A lot of people, when you read articles, all people are talking about, they're not catching that. It's not that he's talking in circles. You can listen to this and say he's talking in circles. No, he just directly said no. No. Listen again.
All these years, 10 years.
So I'm not hearing from you, Mr. President, a thought that you owe the president an apology.
No, I respect President and I respect American people. And if, I don't know, if I think that we have to be very open and very honest. And I'm not sure that we did something bad. I think maybe sometimes some things we have to discuss out of media, with all respect to democracy and to a free media. But there are things that where we have to understand the position of Ukraine and Ukrainians. And I think that is the most important thing. Yes, we are partners. You know, we are very close partners. We have to be fair. We have to be very free.
Right. Very DNC of him. To not want to take any accountability for what occurred. Before we get into this next portion of the video that I want to play, you know, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that exchange before, where one leader of a nation is in the home, you can say, the White House, obviously, but like, you know, in the main building, for lack of better words, of the other leader of said nation, to which the leader who's visiting disrespects that sitting president in their home, in their office, the White House, if we're being specific. I've never seen that before. And the arrogance that he displayed and the pride that he displayed in the face of Trump and in the face of Vance in the White House is inexcusable. You would never think to conduct yourself like that in real life in another man's home, because that's not going to go well for you. And when, as Trump said, the cards aren't in your favor, you're not holding any of the cards in the deck, to be exact. With that being the case and with that being true, you should probably humble yourself. Sit back, relax, stop talking so much, and just listen. But he wouldn't do that because he's accustomed to getting what he wants from Biden. He's very accustomed to that. What he's not accustomed to is Trump. At least not this version of Trump. I'm not sure what version of Trump he was dealing with the first time around. But this version of Trump is not playing the kind of games that Biden is going to play and that Biden was playing. And the thought that you don't feel the need to apologize to Trump when he's literally the only reason that that situation, the war, can end. Because if they could do it in Europe on their own, they would. Why don't they? Because they can't. They literally can't end the war in Ukraine without Trump. So being it that you're in the presence of the only man who could stop the war from occurring and could actually negotiate a peace deal, you should probably hush. You should probably be quiet. And since you are out of bounds, you should probably apologize. But he won't do it. He won't do it. And look at this part here. No accountability at all. He's going to get asked by Brett, do you feel that essentially the way you conducted yourself, do you feel that this makes the Ukrainian people look bad? Does it make the Ukraine look bad. And here's what he had to say.
Right. But do you think the public spat in the Oval Office in front of the media served Ukrainians well today?
I think this kind of spat is I mean this this is not good for both sides. Anyway,
it's not good for both sides. It's not good for you, bro. It's not good for you. Your war, your situation. I really wish I used this picture as the thumbnail, but what you have going on in your country has nothing to do with us, you know. And we literally could just walk away right now and just be like, yeah, whatever, bro. You figure it out. Good luck. And you wouldn't be able to figure it out. So this doesn't look bad on both sides, right? It's not bad for all of us. It's bad for you. But carry on, not taking any accountability.
And I very open, but I can't, change our Ukrainian attitude to Russian. And I don't want they kill us for us. This is very, very clear that Americans are the best of our friends, Europeans are the best of our friends, and Putin with Russian, their enemies. And it doesn't mean that we don't want peace. We just want to recognize the reality, the real situation.
Now, before we round things out, because I do want to get into what Karoline Leavitt had to say too, because Trump, he watched this interview and she's basically obviously going to speak on his behalf concerning what he thought about it. It just wouldn't be right if I didn't leave this video with a little DNC nonsense, right? So what's going to happen next is Brett's going to ask Zelensky what he thinks about this nonsense DNC comment that was left by a congressman on X. So let's get into this foolishness.
Democrats have had the opposite reaction to the Oval Office meeting. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut posted this. What just happened in the Oval Office was a planned ambush designed to help a brutal Russian dictator and hurt America's security. Trump has become Putin's lapdog, and America's global power is hemorrhaging as America sides with dictators over democracy. What an embarrassment.
Why are Democrats so dumb? I mean, they're just hell-bent on doubling down on a losing strategy. We're still doing the dictator talk. Not we're, excuse me. I voted for Trump. They're still doing the dictator talk. They're still doing this, oh, he's in the back pocket of Putin. He's Putin's lapdog. So apparently, if you let the Democrats tell it, Trump is not just Putin's lapdog, but he's also Elon Musk's lapdog as well. So apparently Trump is everybody's lapdog. Trump is just in the pocket of everybody. He's in the pocket of Elon Musk. He's in the pocket of Putin. He's in the pocket of everyone, And what you really see is when you're hearing this is projection. It was Biden who was in everybody else's pockets because Biden wasn't even really running the country. He wasn't. We don't know who was running the country. And they're projecting that onto Trump. But once again, they're just doubling down on stupid. They're doubling down on exactly what lost him the election. Nobody wants to hear that. It's tired already. He's a dictator. He's taking from the dictator's playbook. He runs with Putin. He loves Putin. Trump is the only person, the only president, the only national leader that I've ever seen who gets dragged for being diplomatic. So because he isn't hostile with Putin, that means he's in the pocket of Putin. How does that make any type of logical sense? It doesn't. It's completely stupid and ridiculous. That literally makes no sense. He's the only one who gets dinged for being diplomatic. But go figure. It's the DNC, right? So now what I want to do next is that I want to get into what Karoline Leavitt had to say post-interview, right? Because she spoke right afterwards. Obviously, she's speaking essentially on behalf of Trump. So let's get into this here.
In Trump's favor, there's a new leader.
Sorry, let me rewind that back just a little bit. And if you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and make sure you're following me on Telegram at TD Media Group. Link is in the description box below, and we'll be pinned in the comment section once the stream ends.
I think it remains to be seen. I defer to President Trump on what his next step is and what happens moving forward. But the president made his position quite clear today when he asked Zelensky and the Ukrainians to depart the White House. He feels as President Zelensky is not in the right mindset to negotiate peace. And I think, frankly, that was reinforced with his comments on Bret Baier refusing to apologize for disrespecting the president and the American people in the Oval Office. The president Zelensky was in the White House today and had a real chance to sign an economic agreement that would have been great for the American people to recoup our tax dollars and great for the Ukrainian people to rebuild their country. And unfortunately, he blew the deal up in his own face.
Was the White House expecting an apology? We saw that he didn't directly say that he owes Trump one.
I don't think we were expecting anything, to be honest with you.
Just on the...
They weren't, she says that they weren't expecting an apology. But the fact that he didn't apologize, I don't believe Trump's going to let that go. I don't think that he's going to continue to bring it up over and over and over again. But as it pertains to just, negotiating deals in peace, with Ukraine, Trump's definitely going to want to take more now. And I would too, because we're the ones with the leverage, not you. You want to come in my home and disrespect me and then not apologize? Okay. Looks like peace is going to have to cost you more. And I think that that's how this is going to work out moving forward.
Flip side of this, obviously, there's another player. So is the White House going to ramp up negotiations with Putin, with Russia? Could the president potentially travel to meet President Putin sooner than later?
I'm not tracking anything in terms of next steps in the engagement with Putin and the Russians. The president has made it clear always that both sides need to talk equally to bring both sides to the table to negotiate a deal. And, in a good deal, any good deal, whether it's in business or in politics, both sides usually walk away a little bit unhappy. Unfortunately for Zelensky, I think he refuses to recognize the practical reality of this war. It's been going on for years. His countrymen are dying, and the people who have been funding this effort, the American people, are sick and tired of footing this bill. So it's a much different situation for him than it was 3 years ago. And as President Trump said today, he doesn't have any cards. The cards are not in his favor. They're in President Trump's favor. There's a new leader in the White House who has much different priorities than the last administration. He wants peace. He wants the war to end, and it doesn't seem like Zelensky wants that quite yet.
Switching gears real fast, Karoline.
She just walked off. I'm going to start ending my live streams like that and just walking off. But anyways, that does it. That does it for today's stream, man. Yeah, no apology. Zelensky doesn't care, right? Once again, because he's spoiled. And he thinks that he's just going to keep getting what he wants because, let's be honest, he got what he wanted for almost 4 years straight when dealing with Biden. Got any and everything that he wanted, despite the fact that the American people were against it and didn't want it and didn't want our tax dollars going over there overseas. He got it all anyway. Weapons, bombs, whatever, and would consistently disrespect and say that the U.S. has to do more. You have to do more. You have to do more. You have to do more. Well, it looks like the money tree stopped growing, and there is no more that we can do other than try to help you negotiate a peace deal, something that you can't do on your own, and something that essentially and obviously the Europeans can't do on their own without Trump. So with that being the reality of what is, I think it's about time for Zelensky to humble himself, or he might find himself in a situation where, he'll be dealing with a very rude awakening. Very rude awakening. So with all that being said, that does it for today's stream. I'm going to thank you guys for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And once again, please, Telegram. Please follow me on Telegram. That is extremely important to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. Let me get to the support very quickly before I head out of here. Shout out to my man Jay Bird for 35 months of service. I appreciate you, bro. He said the money gone, fam. Yeah, nah, that money's finished. The money has completely dried up for Zelensky. No more money. Papa Onaya Shelley says Zelensky is a whole. I know what BAN stands for. I can't say that, though. Zelensky is a whole BAN. Have fun with Russia, right? I feel the same way. I feel the same way. You want to disrespect? Okay. Have fun with Putin. And with all that being said, that does it for today's show. Thank you guys for joining me once again. I will catch you guys later. Hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Follow me on Telegram so you never miss a notification. And I will catch you guys very, very soon. Peace and have a great evening.